Today we are here for an interesting session. It's going to be a live demo of a few dog training aspects. We will be covering three topics mainly, one after the other. The topics are going to be leash handling, crate training, and also basic obedience. Yeah. So whoever is watching this, feel free to post your questions in the comment section below, and we will answer them during by the end of the session. Yes. Okay, so let's start with the first topic for the day. So the first topic is leash handling. Yeah, so for that, I'm going to show you obviously first a couple of leashes and how do you hold the leash, how do you handle the leash. So we'll go through each topic one by one. Yeah, so first meet my dog today. He's Captain. He's going to be showing you everything, whatever our topics are. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let me just first bring a few leashes. So one, like you can see, this is the leash on him right now. It's a normal flat leash. Yeah, you also get a couple of other leashes. So you get a leash something like this, which is similar. It's a similar concept. The blue color one that you can see, it's a long line. So obviously you use it for different purposes. I will keep telling you when and how you need these things. So now first to start with, what is the importance of the leash, right? We obviously see a lot of things said about the leash and should you have the dog on leash or should you not have them on leash. So first let's start with what the leash really does. What is the importance of having a leash, right? So as trainers, the first thing we ask pet owners to get is a collar and a leash, like you can see that he has right now on him. It's a normal flat collar with a normal leash. Why do you need this? It's a great tool for guiding your dog. Yeah, so instead of doing anything else, just if I want my dog to come here with me or go the other side or do anything, is the best tool. So don't look at it as something that is restraining your dog or it's hurting your dog or it's punishing your dog. It's the best tool to actually guide your dog. Yeah, like for example, now he's already moved here. Otherwise, I was going to show you what to do with it. But he'll give me enough and more reasons to do that. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so now he's already coming to me, but in case he doesn't, I will obviously show you how I'm going to use the leash for the same reason. Yeah. Now the next question is about how should you hold the leash? Like don't hold the leash like you're going to war. Okay, don't do this. Okay, there is no point of doing this kind of handling. Yeah, keep it nice and loose. So your one hand is here, your other hand can be here, just in case I do need to guide him. So, Captain, if I do need to guide him, I just did this. Right? With my left hand, I just guided him closer to me. I don't have to pull him close to me. I can guide him very well with the leash. Yeah? So that is the first main thing. Now your second main thing about how do you walk with your dog, right? So let him be on your left always whenever you are going for a walk. So for example, Captain, yeah, so if for example I am going for a walk with him, I'm going to basically have him on my left and he can be this way with me. Obviously, if he wants to, now he's behaving really well right now and he's right here. But if he can also obviously go a little bit ahead, which is perfectly okay. Yeah, as long as he's not pulling me, I'm okay. Yeah, so loose leash walking is mainly that your dog is walking right next to you, but he can be a little bit ahead, he can be a little bit behind, and that's perfectly okay. Yeah, Captain. Good boy. Shoo booby. Shoo booby. Oh, shoo booby. Shoo booby. So now this is basically the heel position. Obviously, I've taught him this position. So y'all can also, every pet owner can teach their dogs the heel position. You don't need to necessarily do the entire walk in this position. So I don't need to, so I don't need to have the entire walk doing this. But what I can do is, chala, boy, shoo, chala, 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 foos, boy, foos. Yeah, so what I can do is, see, I can put him into the position sometimes, okay, once in a while. I don't want the entire walk to be about him looking at me and walking. So he's allowed to explore, he's allowed to go sniff around, he's allowed to do all of those things. And whenever he does, if at all I feel that, okay, there is something which is going to be super distracting, or for even dogs who are probably reactive towards another dog, say, just for example, maybe in that much portion, I can put him in heel. Yeah, but because I've taught him the heel command separately first, I can use it on the walk. But don't do the entire walk in that position. So So let him be okay. Like right now also it's okay if he wants to look around, he wants to explore, he wants to look here, there, which is perfectly okay. Yeah, now because he knows his commands very well, he's going to keep looking here that, okay, now tell me what to do next. Yeah, but that is not always like for leash walking, you can literally have this. So now, for example, see, he's going to be going, he probably will go, he'll go behind the fly, he'll do something else, which is okay. Like if he's doing all of this, it's perfectly fine. He doesn't have to always be sticking to me in this position. Yeah, but obviously he knows that if we stop, okay, for example, we are stopping, I'm talking to someone on the road, or I have to go to the shop, or I have to do something, he will always be right here. So use your heel commands like that. Okay. Now again, I'm going to show you one more demo of just how do I do my turns and everything with him. Good boy, good boy, yes, good boy, good puppy. He's for some reason walking only in heel, but that is not necessarily what you should do. Yeah, you can have your dog going here and there or doing something. Good boy. See, and again, whenever you call him, na, right, like even on the walk, you can carry certain rewards with you. So what I have in my food right now is his food, his normal food, his dog food, his meal that he has every day. So I don't have to keep giving him the reward. But once in a while, when he looks at me, so if you see if he's looking somewhere, I let him go away, I let him do his things. But once in a while, when he looks at me, he wants to come back to me. One, I'll obviously praise him, I'll speak to him and everything. And then I'm also going to give him some reward. And the reward can be anything. If your dog is more toy motivated, carry a ball with you. So let him come back to you for 2 minutes, play a little bit with the ball, again start walking. Yeah, but let him be. Like now, for example, if he's going to look here and there, let your dog explore a little bit. Yeah, sure. Good boy. Super puppy. Super puppy. Good puppy. Nice. Good boy. And keep talking to them. See, like for example, right now I'm not giving any reward, but I will keep talking to him. Even on the road, talk to your dog. So even if people sometimes wonder that you all are crazy because you're not talking to your dog on the road, like I have had people call my mother and say we saw her speaking to a dog on the road. Is she okay? So that's perfectly okay, right? Like as you would go for a walk with your friend, you don't have to talk throughout, but obviously talk once in a while so you get your dog's focus on you. Yeah. Yes. 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 Come on. I'll now show you first of all how you're going to. There are a lot of struggles about putting the leash on, right? Like I've seen a lot of people who, when you have to take the dog out, there is a big struggle for that first. So over there also, what you're going to do is one, obviously use your dog's name, and then use a little bit of your obedience commands there as well when you have to put the leash on your dog, right? Captain, sir, good boy, shoo booby, shoo booby, Kalibus, Kalibus, Anna, Kalibus. Good boy. Shoo-boo, shoo-boo, shoo-boo. Yeah, you can say. So now this is another thing that I have a formal and informal language with my dog. Okay, so what you heard me right now speak to him was in Marathi, which means sit, but it means the same thing, sit in English or Khalibas in Marathi. But why I'm using, so there are different reasons why we use these different commands. So right now, for example, I have to just put the leash on him. I said a Khalibas, I just put the leash on and now we are ready to go for a walk. Yeah. So let it be very stress free again. You don't need to be running behind him. You don't need to be doing any of that. The minute I'm calling his name, he comes to me. I tell him to sit. I put him on leash, and then we can straight go for a walk. Yeah. So there is again, but at the same time, see, I'm not killing his excitement. Even when he comes to me, he's sometimes jumping. He's sometimes coming. He's getting all excited. He's running here and there, which is okay. Yeah. Don't kill the excitement, but have your obedience commands so perfectly taught that even in that your dog can get into obedience. Right? Yes. Good boy. Sugar baby. Sugar baby. So that those are the main things with leash handling. Again, I'm repeating for people who've just joined in. Hold the leash like this. Let there be a nice you at any given point of time. Just in case my dog is going there, I don't want him to go there. For example, right now I can just say Chalika, and then just guide him a little bit closer with my left hand pressure. Yeah, I don't need to do anything else. But obviously all of this will happen if you're overall otherwise also working with your dogs, right? Like he knows that it's always fun to be here and to do training with me or to play with me. So a lot of these things are looking so peaceful because you have to first go to your next step of how do you train. So that is going to basically take us to the next topic, which is basic obedience. Yeah, so we have finished, we've more or less spoken a little bit about leash handling and how what you're going to do on the walk. But now let's move to basic obedience, because those commands, so lots of times you teach your dog sit down, all of these things, but you have to be able to use them in your daily routine, right? So how we are going to use them? First, I'm going to show you how do you teach them a little bit of basic obedience, and then we are going to use them in leash walking exactly like what we did in the beginning. Yeah, Captain. Cha, Kapui, Super, catch it. Oh, super, catch it. So now I'm going to show you something which is called as luring, right? So there is food in my hand. If you have to teach your dog a sit, how do you start doing that? Is there is food in my hand. I get him to follow me. I get him to follow my hand basically. He's licking my hand if you can see clearly over here. Yeah. And then I'm going to move my hand on top. He sat and I use my marker. Okay. And I give it to him. Yeah, so now obviously now that takes us to the next question of what is a marker, right? Like everyone knows how to teach a dog a sit, but what am I doing to mark it? Yeah, so what is a marker? It's basically a word that I'm using, or you can even use something called as a clicker. Okay, so all of you must have seen a clicker which makes a tuck tuck, that kind of a sound. Yeah, either that or you can have a verbal cue. With him, I have a verbal cue. So first, why do we teach the marker? Is because one, it tells the dog that your reward is here. So it tells your dog that your reward is here. It also marks any position, right? So the marker, like the word suggests, it is marking any position, any behavior that you want to see again and again in your dog. You can obviously mark it with this word. Okay. Yeah. So basically, that is what the marker does. Now, how do you teach the marker? Right? Because your first step is you have to teach the marker before you even start with the sit or anything. So what I do is I start luring him. Yeah, the minute he's into my hand, he's trying to get the food out. I'm hiding the food in my hand, if you can see clearly. And then when I say my word, so I say okay, and then I open it up. You can use the word that you want. You can say either a yes, you can say okay, you can say whatever. You can say chip. You can use any word that you want. The selection of the word obviously has to be such that it's not used normally while you are speaking. Yeah. So if, for example, you keep telling each other, okay, I'm coming. Yeah, okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'll do that. So if you keep using that kind of an okay, the dog could get confused at a lot of times. So the way you can see, am I okay with him? Is it's like okay, it's like a whisper. Yeah. Or you can say yes in a different way, or you can say chip. You can do whatever word you want, but be consistent with what you're saying. Okay. So now again, I'm showing you how to teach the marker. So he's into my hand, he's licking. My food is hiding in the hand. Then I say okay, and I open it up and he can eat. Yeah. Again, does the marker tell the dog, am I going to give him one kibble or two kibbles or three kibbles? Nothing of that sort. Yeah, it doesn't tell the dog the quality or quantity of the reward. Okay, it just tells the dog that here your work is done and now go get the reward. Okay, while we are teaching the marker, we are doing a lot of other things like, I get him closer to me, I get him in between my legs, I do all of these things. Why are we doing all these things? Is because we are working on multiple things, right? We are working on something called as proximity issues while you're teaching the marker. So a lot of dogs, what happens is they are ready to take the food from you, but they want to take it from a distance. They don't want to come too close, right? So what we are doing while we are teaching this, so it looks like we are only teaching the marker, but not really. We are going to be doing a lot of things alongside. So right now what I did is while teaching the marker, I'm teaching him that it's okay to come close to me. It's okay to do all of this and there is no harm. Yeah. Good boy. Shoo, Bobby. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Bobby? Now to teach sit. So once my dog has started doing this, right? He started following the hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same hand to put him into different positions. Yeah. So I can do this. I can move him into a down. Okay. Right. So I can do multiple things once he has learned that he has to follow my hand. Once he has learned that he has to follow my hand. Yeah. So I'm going to show that to you again. How do you do the sit and the down? Good boy. Now, once I've taught him the sit, now because he knows his marker, I don't need to separately do a stay command. My dog will continue being in the sit till I tell him to move. Yeah, so if you see I'm not doing anything right now, I just told him to sit, he will be there till I use the marker. Okay. I say the marker and he gets up and he gets his reward. Okay, got it? I'm going to do it again one more time. So he's into my hand, he's licking, sit. He sits. Good boy. Okay. So when I say okay, he can break his position and he can come and take his reward. Yeah. I hope you're clear till here. Now I'm going to show you the down. Yes. Good boy. Ah, yeah, good boy. Super puppy. Well done. Good boy. Yeah, so now when I put him in the down again, you saw obviously I lured him into the down. Also, the other thing is you seeing again, I'm not using a separate stay command. I'm going to be using my marker to release him because my marker tells him that he can get up, he can get his reward, and he can also break his position, of course, to get his reward. Okay. Yeah, you can see like it's a very soft marker, but he very well knows it because obviously we've been working for a long time now. So he obviously knows it. So you don't have to be yelling, screaming, or any of that. You see how calmly and quietly I'm giving him the command. Of course, you have to be quite assertive. So it's not like a request when I'm telling him, but I'm not even yelling at him. Yeah. Nice. Good boy. Good boy. Nice puppy. Boy. Down. Down. Good boy. Nice. Super. Good boy. Here. Good boy. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so now this again, now this is another command that I just did with him. What a here basically means is that it's a recall, right? So all of us do obviously think about that, how do I get my dog to come back to me? So there are two different recalls again. With every command, I teach him a formal and an informal language. So which is like you just saw for the sit, I told him khali bas in Marathi versus in English there was a sit. Same for a recall is going to be ikde or come or whatever language I you speak to your dog at home, and the formal word for his recall is here. So what here means is that he has to be sitting right in front of me, looking into my eyes, and in a sit position here. That is his here command. That's a formal recall. But probably if right now I don't want a formal recall, he's like going there, he's doing something, you have to just call him, so he can just come like this. Yeah, and for this come, obviously I don't need a perfect position. He can be standing, he can be doing something, and then he can even go. But obviously, when I use a formal command, so if I use a here, if I use any word like that, he has to be in that particular position. What here means is that the position is right here. He's sitting in front of me, looking into my eyes. So now you need to understand one thing, that if he understands this position, okay, dogs are contextual animals. So they understand different positions in the entire context of it. So here for him, it only means in front of me and sitting here. So for example, even if my dog is there somewhere and I have to say here, he knows that he has to come right here. This is the position. So I have only taught him, that kind of a position, right? Now, if you see again, he wanted to go there, explore. So I don't need to yell and scream and tell him. Yeah, it's only normal he wanted to go there, but I just told him, "Chal ikde," and he turned and he's back here. You don't need to be boiling your blood to get your dog in control. Okay, so a lot of times I see, you're yelling, you're screaming, "Arey, why are you doing this?" It's okay. And don't kill curiosity. So if my dog wants to go there for some time, look around, check what is happening, like he's now fly obsessed, he wants to catch all flies all the time, it's okay. As long as when I am telling you something, he can give me his attention, right? Until then, this is the radius he knows he can walk around in, and which is completely okay. Yeah, if he does anything more than that, he knows I will probably tell him not to and he has to come back. Or I might correct him if he pulls really hard, which most of the times, those things you can avoid if your foundation has been set right. There is no reason for him to want to go to, like there are 2, 3 people sitting around here right now, but he's not interested in going there because he knows, okay, we are training here or we are doing something here. So build that first with your dog. First, build the bond that your dog wants to do something with you, right? And then move to other things. Hey, check. Oh, wait, Super Puppy. I'm just going to do a little bit again because he's waiting while I'm talking. So I'm just going to do a little bit more of a demo and show you. Come on. Good boy. Super. Sit. Nice. Good boy. Super Puppy. Well done. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Super. Very good. Okay. Yeah, so if you see what I did right now, I moved from sit to down, down to sit from a distance. You also saw that at one point of time, he thought I'm releasing him, so he almost just did this. But then he got back into position because he understood I had not said the okay. Yeah, so it's okay if your dog is like just thinking and getting back into position, but you don't have to keep repeating anything. Yeah, if you see, I'm not continuously saying stay, stay, stay. I'm not doing any of those things. When I tell my dog to sit, it means he has to be sitting till he hears probably the next command, which is either a down or he'll hear his release command. Yeah. What do you want? Why do you want? I'm not gonna give you. Chal, acha, foos. Good boy. Shoot, boy. Foos. Good boy. Foos. Good boy. Yeah, so this position also, like I was telling you earlier, that just teach your dogs this position because you will need it for your leash walk, right? So this is what you would have wanted your walk to be, that it's completely loose. He's happily walking with you. So all of these things you can only do if you've just taught them the heel position, right? There is no reason for him to keep doing anything till obviously I will release him. He can break this and he can go. Yeah. Sure. Yes. And keep rewarding your dog. Okay. So the other most important thing while training is, a lot of people ask me this question, that when do you stop rewarding? Okay, do we always have to reward? My only answer to that is that however passionate you are about your own job, right? Like if all of you even love your job, for how long are you going to do it for free? Don't we all expect a salary? The same way, even your dog expects some salary, and his form of salary obviously is not money. It is either food, or it is toys, or it's some play with you, or it is some activity with you. So you can select your reward, whatever you want to give your dog, right? But as long as keep rewarding. Yeah, again, it doesn't mean that, oh God, am I bribing or is it what? So don't look at it as bribe. Yeah, look at it as a reward. Yeah, that you're giving him something, so that because he's done something good. Yeah, for even for example, even a sit or a down, for us it is like, "Arey, it is such a small thing." But if you're doing it with perfection, that is also work for your dog. That also tires them out quite a bit, right? So make sure that you reward every single time you ask them to do something. Unless, like for example, now if some of you are trying to compete in some kind of sport, or you all are doing some of those things, then maybe that day obviously you all are not allowed to reward your dog. But obviously you have built that kind of a dog till then, till the time you have decided to go in the trial field, right? So that is one day probably you will not have a reward. Again, probably for pet owners, maybe if it's an emergency, like for example, you've stepped out of your house, but you don't have a reward with you at that time, but you need to put your dog in a sit. So that's okay. Maybe that day do a sit and your dog will still reliably do it, because at least 99% times he's got the reward. At one time you kind of cheated him, but that's okay. At least he's going to probably forgive you for that, as long as you give him his rewards at all other times. Right? So if you want to set your dog up for success, always have a very, very, very good reward system. There is no need at all to work without rewards. A dog, so if a dog listens to you without a reward, does that mean something? It absolutely does not. He doesn't have to prove his love for you by doing a sit or a down. Your dog anyway loves you. Okay, so you don't have to expect them to listen to commands without rewards just to prove their love for you. Okay, it has to be because that is extra work, and for any work that even we do, just the way we expect salary, even they should be given their salary, right? So do a lot of basic obedience things like I showed you in short. One was luring with the hand, how to do it. Then obviously how to put them in positions is, you will have to keep manipulating the position. If your hand moves stop, it will be a sit. If it goes down, it can be a down. You can do multiple things with these things, and slowly you'll work on time, you'll work on distance, you'll work on distractions. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So now moving on to the next topic, which is crate training. I hope everyone has understood a little bit about basic obedience. Please keep dropping in your questions in the comment section, because we are going to take them by the end of the session. So please keep doing that, so we can obviously help you with whatever small things you all are having issues with. Yeah. Okay. So now moving on to crate training. So now crate, now there are a lot of misconceptions about what a crate does, and is it like a restriction? Does a dog, you kill his freedom, and does he not like it? Like you can see how my dog is, what my dog is doing right now. I have not even asked him to go in, but as soon as I open the crate door, he wants to go in. Right? So now the thing is, if your crating has been done right, your dogs actually like that space. Yeah, crate becomes like a bedroom for the dogs. Yeah, it is not a punishment area. It's not that I put him in because I got angry on you or because I'm shouting at you or any of those things. Right? I put him in the crate because, like, for example, when we come back home, we are really tired and you want to just go and rest for 2 minutes. You go into a bedroom and you lie down on your bed. Right? Similarly, for him, the crate is like that. Like you can see right now, when he was outside, he was still doing something or the other. He's gone in and he's nicely chilling now. Yeah. So, and again, I've not even told him itself. Yeah. So obviously, I will show you how to get him in and out of it. So one, you have to have it clear in your head what the crate really means. Okay, it is not to be used for punishment. It is not to be used to get rid of your dog. It is not to be used just so that you have some space when you have guests or anything. Okay, it is to be introduced in a nice way, that this is your space, this is your bedroom, and so that the dog likes it. So if you start young with a puppy, like with him, obviously he's come to me when he was 2 months old. So right the day he came in, he had this crate. It was the same crate for him right from that time to now. Okay, now he's 2 years old. So he knows this crate so well that he knows that, acha, this is my space. Okay, the day your dog comes in, introduce that space to your puppy. Okay, now again, there are various ways you have to first associate it in a nice fashion, right? So you can again do a simple in and out with food or something like that, whatever your dog really likes. Okay, so first you have to just play simple games like that. Just the dog is going in, out, and he just keeps getting some reward. I'll just show you what I mean by that. Capu, in. Good boy. Super puppy. Good boy. Super, 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 super. Good puppy. Good puppy. Out. Good boy. Super puppy. Nice. Good puppy. So just do a simple thing like this, like just an in and out with the crate. You will probably have to do this for a couple of days. Do only this with the door open. You're only going to do an in and out for a long, long, long time till your dog now. Like if you see what is happening right now, why do you think he's going in and sitting on his own? Because he knows that this has always been rewarding. Yeah, I have always rewarded him for going and sitting in the crate. So if he on his own is offering me this behavior, I'm going to keep reinforcing it positively. Yeah. So I will keep showing him that, wow, that is the great thing to do. Acha, come. Good boy, super puppy. Huh? So you basically have to do that. First, you have to do what you have to do with crate training is association. That first associate that it's a great place for you to be in. Yeah. After that, what you will start doing is you'll slowly start closing the door. Yeah. Just khali. Good puppy. Super puppy. So this is obviously after a few days, you will move to the next process where you start closing the door and you are still sitting there with your dog. Yeah, there is no need to then go away immediately. You can be sitting here. Obviously, like there have been times when one of us have gone in and sat as well, just so that he feels comfortable in the beginning. Basha, khali basha. But you can at least be sitting here. You can probably sometimes touch him. Sometimes you can be reading a book. You can be doing something. But your dog also has to feel that, okay, wow, this is a great place. Like if you see, he also has nicely settled down while I'm speaking to all of you. Right? So first, this is your next step. After your first step of association that it's a good place and there is nothing to worry about this, then you start closing the door and you are sitting close to him. Okay, in the next step it's going to be when you can start even going away and the dog sits because he knows, okay, now this is a fun place to be. Yeah, like I'm even going to show you that. So now even if I have to walk away from here, you will also not see me for a few seconds. So I'm just going to step out, but you'll see that he will still be okay. Yeah, so if you see he was okay, he'll obviously keep his eyes on me. So that is something that all dogs do. All your dogs, the one thing that they do all day is that they're looking at you. Yeah, they're continuously watching what are you doing next, where are you going, where are you moving, what are you doing. So they are continuously observing you, which is perfectly fine. But as long as there is nothing else, so don't worry about any other things. Yeah, he likes his space, he's going to be okay. If you introduce it correctly, they actually like to go and sit in on their own. Yeah, and then your next step about when you're getting them out of the crate as well, very nicely, calmly, you can open the this thing. You can open the door, put on the leash, and then take your dog out. Yeah, and he can then you can probably start with your obedience, or you can start with going for a walk, or you can do whatever you want to do. Right? Good boy. Yeah. So make it as peaceful as you can. Now, the other benefits of crate training. Why do you we do crate training? So one, obviously, so that all the dogs have their own space. Khali bas bhai. All the dogs have their own space. That is one. Second is obviously that for puppies, for toilet training, right? Like when that is one of the nightmares that people go through. That how do I now train my dog for toilet? So what you do is, if your dog is crate trained, every couple of hours you can bring him out of the crate. You can take him to the designated area wherever he has to go, and then put him back in the crate. So you don't have to even shout at your dog. So the entire concept of my dog is doing susu at multiple places, that is because you are giving them freedom too early on. Yeah, don't give your dogs freedom too early on because they don't know what to do with it. Yeah, first you teach them all of these things. So first you crate train them, then you give them a good routine with the playing, with the training, with all those things, or with nice structured walks, and then you start giving them freedom. So with him as well, the first 6 months of his life, 2 months till at least till he was about 7 or 8 months old, he's had a strict routine of crating. Yeah, in that time, and what he saw is he could come out of the crate and he used to do some activity with us, me and my partner. So either he'll be playing with me, or he'll be going for a walk, or he'll be training. Like if you saw when I was standing, and if I just he knows that there is food in my hand, he immediately was anyway waiting there, that okay, chalo, now you will be training. If probably I start doing something else, he'll go and he'll chill on his own. So these are the small, small cues that you always teach your dog. Right now, the more you know you've done this, then you can start giving them freedom after maybe about 6 months of age or something. Then let your puppies be free in the house, because by then at least you've taught them what are the right things to do. Yeah, I have not said no to even him. He being a pit bull, obviously people have a lot of worries about, oh God, how do you have a pit bull in the house and what would they be doing, etc. But trust me, I've had zero destruction with him. I've had zero biting issues with him, because obviously because of only creating. क्या करते हो? इकडे बघ. इकडे. Good. If you saw again, I did something that I explained to you in the first topic of leash handling, that I was just guiding him back to me. Yeah. So that way, yeah. So sorry, coming back to the creating and why it helps is that because it has a good, you end up giving a good routine. Then when you give your dogs freedom, what happens is they're anyway going to choose to be next to you. Yeah, there is no reason for them to try to go away or do something else, or even be destructive. See, a lot of times, a lot of things that puppies do, it's because they're trying to get your attention, right? Now, what we are going to be doing with creating and a good routine is that whenever he's out of the crate, you're anyway going to give them attention. So there is no question of correcting your dog. There is no question of shouting at your dog. So I have not had to shout at him when he was a puppy. So because if you start raising like this, a lot of your issues are they don't even appear. I hope that was good enough for crate training. So now what we'll start doing is we'll start taking a few questions from the audience. If we need to revisit any of the topics, of course we will. But let's start taking a few questions from the audience now. So Soumya, over to you.
Hi, Priyanka.
Hi.
Hi. It was a lovely demonstration. I learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of people learned a lot. And it
Thank
was really
you.
amazing. As everybody already knows here who's been watching the video and people who are joining us now, this is Priyanka Patkki. She's an amazing certified dog trainer and she is the founder of the Snout Scout, which is a training company as well as a boarding center. You can see it in the background. It's their training and boarding center in the background. Looks amazing, Priyanka.
Yeah, thank you, Soumya. Yes. So do we
Okay.
have any questions? Do you
Yes,
have any
we do.
questions?
Yes, I have a few questions. We do have a lot of questions from audience as well. So let's
Okay.
take up a few questions from the audience.
Right.
There are a couple of questions regarding leash walking only. So
Right.
people are
Okay.
complaining about leash pulling a lot. So Bhavin asks,
Right.
my lab is 4 years old and pulls a lot when we bring him for a walk. So what do you have to
Right.
say?
Okay. See, so one thing is, again, I'm just going to do a little bit with him. So, see, one thing is, again, Bhavin, if he's a 4-year-old and he's been pulling you right from the time he was a puppy, of course, it's a learned behavior for a long, long time. So, we are going to have to obviously break it down to what are the times that he pulls you. So, does he pull you when he sees another dog, or does he pull you when he sees another animal, another human, or what is it, or when he has to pee in a corner, or whatever, what the exact reasons are. Yeah, but anyway, once you start breaking down what the issue is, we can address it. Yeah, because leash walking, are even when I've seen a lot of cases of leash walking, there are multiple other issues associated with it. So first, break it down into different components. Yeah, break it down into if it was dog reactivity, if it was human reactivity, or is it just generally pulling. Yeah, so for example, if this is what is happening, you can just nicely guide him back next to you, and you can start walking. Yeah, but if it is anything more than that, we have to first address that issue separately. So if your dog is reacting to other dogs, we'll have to first do it in a controlled space. We'll have to first handle that. But your first step, of course, is to diagnose it correctly, that what are the multiple triggers, and then obviously looking at your dog and everything, get another trainer probably who can come and visit and see the condition exactly, and then get the right kind of collar and leash for him. Yeah, so you can use, there are multiple types of collars and leashes in the market. So you have a flat collar, you have a choke collar, you have a prong collar, you have a martingale collar, you have various collars. And if you've used them correctly, none of them are going to hurt your dog. Yeah, so like for example, he's right now on a flat collar. Yeah, so if you can see now in this much, if I have to just guide him back, he gets it. So then I don't need to use anything else. But if, for example, maybe some dog has been pulling for a very long time, maybe you can use something else after you. But first, you have to diagnose it correctly, what the triggers are. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I
So,
hope, yes, I hope Bhavin, this helped you, and you can definitely give it a try. Exactly what Priyanka said. Okay, Priyanka,
mm,
two, three questions regarding dogs reacting to doorbell ringing. So
right.
people are complaining about how either their puppy, their pug, their dog is not very happy when the doorbell rings, and they try to go out, or they bark a lot when the doorbell rings. So Minty here is asking that my Maltese barks a lot when the doorbell rings, jumps on people.
Mm,
What to do to control that?
okay. How old is the dog? Puppy or an older dog?
She has not mentioned it yet. Minty, if you're listening to us, if you're still watching us, can you mention how old your dog is?
Okay. So one, till we even hear that, I'll anyway give you one suggestion what you could do. See, one, if it is a puppy, for sure you don't want to be yelling or screaming or doing any of that. Yeah, that's the reason why I asked how old, because if he's a puppy, you have to be able to do it a lot differently. But in any case, you can do this one trick that I've done with quite a few dogs, is associate the doorbell ring to maybe going and sitting on the sofa, or going and sitting, maybe make a small kind of a sofa for them or a small bed. Let them start understanding that the doorbell ring means they have to go back into that place, into that area. Yeah. So first practice this without an actually someone visiting you, right? So someone, maybe someone from the family can go out, ring the bell, and just start associating that sound of the bell to going and sitting on the bed or on the sofa, or maybe the entrance of your bedroom from where your dog can still see but has gone and sat there. Every time the bell rings and you tell your dog, okay, go back there, and he starts going there, you go in that position, in that place, and you start rewarding your dog a lot. Obviously, use the kind of reward that your dog likes. Yeah, that is the first most important thing, because don't just think that, okay, no, maybe this, or maybe a piece of chicken will work for everyone. Maybe it will not. Yeah, maybe for someone egg will work better. Maybe for someone cheese will work better. Maybe for someone dog food is enough. But every single time the bell rings, you're going to go there and you're going to give some food over there. Now, what will happen if you do this every single time? In a few repetitions, you're going to see that the dog on his own, as soon as the bell rings, goes and sits there, because obviously the dog wants the reward, which is obviously, but it has to be extremely rewarding for the dog. Now, in any case, if for a particular kind of a dog, none of that is rewarding, but what is rewarding is meeting the person who's visited. Yeah, that is also a possibility, that maybe there is a certain kind of a dog who's not going to find anything else that rewarding. The only thing that is going to be rewarding is going to be meeting that person. Then what you do need is, you need a very good uh, obedience training that you have done before that. So then what I would do is, I would just put my dog in a sit. My dog very well knows that when I say sit, I really mean it. Right? Like if you were seeing what I was doing with him as well before, that a sit means a sit. You have to do it. Whereas in my informal language, sometimes it is okay if he doesn't listen, or if he takes time to listen. But in the sit, he knows 100% he has to sit. Then just use your obedience command. So as soon as the bell rings, the person is there, I'm going to say sit. My dog can, he very well knows he can't break a formal command. The person will walk in, then I can release him and the person can touch him. So that also is an option. So either you can use obedience at the door or use a place command away from the door, depending again dog to dog and how you build the reward system. Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. So I think that is really useful. Chittu here is asking a question. We've already answered one part of his question. Let's answer the other. He says that my pug, male 1.5 years, neutered, is ultra super excited before the walks. And also, he's not very happy when the doorbell rings and he tries to go out. What can be done for simmering down this behavior? So we've already done the doorbell ringing part. What about dogs being super excited before the walks? Do you think we need to simmer that behavior down, or is it like okay for them to be excited?
Yeah. So see again, do things again start thinking from the dog's perspective, right? So if he's excited to go out, I don't see anything wrong in that in that mindset. So for example, if we are going on a vacation, think of it like that. So aren't we all excited like when we're packing our bags and when we are running to the door, okay, chalo chalo chalo, now we have to go, or you're going for a movie or anything for that matter, or if you play a particular sport and you have a match today, you're going to be excited when you're running out of the door. So there is nothing wrong in the excitement part of it. Of course, if it's causing you some problem. So for example, if he's because he's pulling you, although he's a pug, so I don't think he's really going to be even pulling you out that much. But maybe just for like you can say maybe to just teach a good manner that don't run out of the door, because you never know, maybe there is a senior person out, or maybe there is maybe someone who's scared of dogs who's outside the door, so you don't want a dog running out for those reasons. Yeah, the excitement per se is not the problem, but maybe you still want to teach a good manner just because you want it to be safe. You want it to be safe for other people as well. Although we know that okay, our dog is not going to hurt the person, maybe there are certain people who are scared, who are just scared at the sight of the dog, and which we have to understand as dog owners, right? Like so there are times when I might probably freak out looking at a small cockroach. Yeah, there'll be most people around who are going to laugh at me and say, what is a cockroach going to do to you? You're a dog trainer. But it does freak me out. So you can't really talk about why a person is so scared of a dog. Well, they are. So all we can do is then again obedience over there. So put your dog on a sit, teach these kind of behaviors. Put your dog on a sit, open the door. Your dog has to still be sitting. Open the door, you walk out, take one step out, check everything. Okay, everything is okay. Then tell him, okay, chalo na come, and take him out. Yeah, so obedience is even going to help over there. But don't think of it as excitement is wrong. I rather want that excitement. Your dog has to be looking forward to something in his day.
Right, of course. Mala Venkat Krishnan is saying, mine is an indie 1 year old male. He follows sit,
Hmm.
down, stay, etc. inside the house. How to do it during the walks on the road? And that's actually a pretty interesting question. Like,
It is.
because they're so distracted during the walks, how can we regulate that while, we're taking them out for walks?
Absolutely. Okay. So one thing what you have to start doing is see again a lot of these things start when you get a puppy home. Yeah. So what we do with a lot of our puppies is that when they are like just very young, say 2.5, 3 months, you start all this process at that time. Start taking your dog out. You can probably just be sitting on some bench or something, like even if you see maybe a platform like this, or you can just be sitting wherever you want on the road, and you feed an entire meal over there. Now, how do you feed it? Just carry your dog food probably in your pockets, like the way I have it right now. Carry a pouch or something. You're sitting on leash with your dog. Just 1 minute. Captain, ikde, Capu, ikde. Good boy. He's feeling hot, so he's gone and sat there in a corner. Ikde, pachkani. Hey, donkey. अरे थोड़ा गरम होता है कैप्टन चिकू चल पटकन चला ये क्या पटकन good boy puppy. Why are you feeling so hot? Oh, okay, sorry.
No problem.
Huh? So what you do is, so for example, now he's sitting here with me. He's allowed to go away. Okay, like now, for example, I'm going to start ignoring him while I'm talking to you guys. But he knows this game already very well. Okay, so what happens is he can, the minute he's closer to me, like now, so he knows. Obviously, I got him out. He knows this is what I'm going to be doing. The minute your dog is closer to you, you're going to start touching him, or you're going to start talking to him, and then feed an entire meal over there. Yeah, the entire meal you'll just keep feeding one kibble from the hand. Like what I'm doing right now. So I'll again give him one kibble, and again I can be doing something. But then I have him here. So again, I'm going to be giving one kibble. Maybe I'll still continue. I'll sit talking to someone else, or I'll be looking somewhere else. If he's here, he gets rewarded. But keep rewarding when your dog is closer to you. First, start with this simple exercise. So don't think of going directly on the walk or obedience. Yeah. So for example, this. He will go away. He will do all this. You don't have to say anything. Yeah. You will not shout at your dog. You will not do anything. But if after like, but he's on leash, right? So at some point of time, he's going to come back. The minute he's here, I'm going to get my reward out and I'm going to start feeding him. Yeah. So what he starts understanding is unknowingly, I'm not still saying anything to him. I'm not giving any command. But what is happening to him is, Varja, Zoop, Zoop. So what is happening to him is that he knows that every time he comes closer to me, he gets a reward. And I'm not calling him still. Yeah. So when you're with a puppy, start it with this exercise. Or even with your older dog right now, you can. So have him on leash. Just be sitting in one place. So he will go, he will be probably smelling around, he'll do something. After 5 to 10 minutes, how much time will he do that? At some point of time, he will come back and sit next to you. The minute he's next to you, you will start touching him, playing with him, talking to him, feed an entire meal, come back home. First do this, then once you've got the first attention, so first our work is to bring the dog's attention to you. Then maybe after a couple of days, again carry your rewards, practice obedience in the parking area. Because by then this your dog is already doing. Your dog has now started understanding that, okay, when you sit means let me start giving you attention. Then start with a little bit of obedience. And then add a little bit of distractions. So it'll have to be step by step.
Right, right. That helps. And it's a classic case of, actions speak louder than words for sure. So
Yeah,
just rewarding
absolutely.
it, yeah, saying it is like
Keep rewarding.
interesting. Okay, Sakshi here says that her golden retriever is 3 months old. Again, same thing, the doorbell rings and he just gets very excited and stuff like that. And she also says that her golden retriever needs two people when going for walks and refuses to walk with just one person. What should be done if she refuses to walk? And it's a three months
So why
old
does
puppy.
she?
Yeah.
So she needs two people because she doesn't want to come out on the walk, looks like, no?
No
That is what the
idea.
question was. Did I understand it correctly? Two people to bring the dog out or to what?
No,
The dog
like
is pulling?
she needs two people when going for walk and refuses to walk with just one person. Means she needs two people when she's going out for a walk.
Hmm.
So what
Okay.
should be done if
So
she
see,
refuses?
right. I'm just going to anyway get my Goldie also out while I'm answering this. Can you please send her outside? I've kept everything here. See, so one thing, Sakshi, if you have a puppy, again, try to make it very exciting. Yeah, if you can make it very exciting for your puppy, there is no way that she's not going to want to come out. Yeah, so make it very exciting. Carry her favorite toy or carry one of these things. Also, again, try to address that. Why is it that she's not trying to go out? Sometimes it could be fear of sounds, or it could be fear of traffic. It could be something. Hey there, watch her,
So she's
watch her.
saying that she seems excited to walk, but doesn't walk when they actually take her outside. So when she's going out, like she seems
Okay.
excited, but when she goes out, she doesn't really walk.
Okay. So then probably it could be also if she's nervous about the new environment or something like that. So maybe just start with at the building. Don't go far away. Just try to observe her again. What is it? Is it that something is freaking her out or what is it? Or does she have any pain in the legs? See, a lot of times even growing puppies have some pain. Maybe at that particular time the leg could be hurting, something is hurting. Is it any of that? So first obviously rule out anything medical, and then if any of the environmental things are stressing her out, it could just mean anything. It could mean a new person there, or it could mean maybe a dog there, or any of those things. What you need to obviously do is rule out what is freaking her out, and then again make it very gradual. Yeah, make it very gradual, as in again just at the building door you're going to be sitting there, the same exercise that I showed you right now with my dog, right? Same that I showed the person for the pulling, you're going to do it just for association of the walk or outside as a fun time. And then again carry the reward, maybe just do a small part, like literally from here to here, and then come back. Don't try to do a long walk. So that gives you enough time to observe what is really happening to your puppy. Why is it that she's not walking? And again, the two people thing, if it's convenient for you, do it. But otherwise, just one of you start taking her out. See, it's okay. Sometimes what also happens is they are training you guys. Okay. So that, and dogs are extremely manipulative. Yeah, so they are going to
Yeah,
be training you that नहीं नहीं चलो दोनों भी चलो. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Let's see now what will happen if only one person goes. So you
hmm,
start becoming strict like that. And again, by being strict, I don't mean to say yelling, screaming, or pulling and telling her नहीं तू चली. As a matter of fact, just go away. As a matter of fact, just go walk out and be all neutral, normal. You're sitting, you're chilling on the bench. The dog will be like, oh wow, okay, nothing happened. Because sometimes it could just be that she doesn't know that okay, this could also be okay. Yeah.
right,
So
right,
try with those things. Basically, the association has to become better. Then things will be fine.
right. And it's just it's
Yeah.
she's still like a 3 months old puppy, so there is like a lot of this is like the perfect time for her to be able to train her right away.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Okay, Shivani here is asking, my dog pulls a lot on his leash and has an ear infection. This makes it difficult to put medication in his ear. How do we
Okay.
control? Can we control that through any kind of training?
So that the dog is not letting her put medicine in the ear. Is that what she's
Yeah,
asking?
yeah, that, and he also
Okay.
pulls a lot on his leash.
Okay. Pulls on the leash again. What dog does she have?
She hasn't mentioned it here. She hasn't mentioned
Okay.
it.
See, for the
Uh,
ear, of course, I'll show you a couple of things. Siva, come here. Good girl. And so now she's our other dog. She's my second dog. So what you
what's
can
the
do
name?
one again every day. Sorry,
What's the name of the Goldie?
Phoebe.
Kiwi.
So she's my
Nice.
second dog. Yeah. So now what you do is every day when you're done training your dog, right? Like for example, right now I've done nothing with her, but every day once you're done, you need to sit down and you need to do all of these things. Like if you see what I'm doing, I'm just opening the ear, closing the ear. Um, I'm going to be checking her eyes. I'm going to be playing with her mouth. Yeah, so all these are the things that the doctor does, when you go to the clinic, and that is when dogs get freaked out. So I'm going to be touching her paws. So even if she's uncomfortable, I'll do it gently and I'm going to leave it. But all these things, see, you have to do every single day. Every single day when you do these kind of things, your dog now starts getting used to the handling. So this is the first step that, when you have a puppy or you have a young dog, you first start with these things. Then now obviously when you have to put the medicine, it's going to be much easier because a lot of dogs are going to react because of the handling more than the medicine. They don't really, obviously the feeling of something going in the ear is also strange, but more than that it is handling. So like if you see what I'm doing even with her right now, I'm unnecessarily pulling her tail, looking up. Yeah, like as if when you have to put the thermometer, you have to lift this and put the thermometer in the bum, right? So get the dog used to all these actions, because otherwise what happens is these same dogs, however friendly they are, whatever they are, maybe if they're not used to that kind of handling, they're going to freak out. So one, every single day, handle your dogs. When they are tired, you're going to sit down and you're going to handle fully. Now in this current situation where she has to put medicine and her dog is not okay with it, all you have to do is, it's going to be, technically it's going to be quite a sad situation because you could probably muzzle, you could still associate in a nice way, but if it is already hurting in the ear and that thing is going in, it's already causing more discomfort, it's going to be pretty tricky. So
Right.
just to keep yourself safe, of course, you can muzzle. Again, muzzle train also separately. So see, these are the things a lot of times when you have a puppy now, do these kind of foundation training just because you might need it any day. Yeah, lots
Right.
of times people wait for these things that are, "Yaar, I don't need the muzzle training right now," but you never know. You might need it someday, or maybe you never need it, but no harm, right, in teaching your dog these things or teaching
Of
your dog handling. So
right.
one, do this all this foundation work when you have a puppy. But right now, if you have this situation, now let's hope that at least the dog is okay with muzzling. And then you'll have to probably muzzle just to keep your hands safe. Condition, of course, nicely that as soon as the eardrops is done, immediately have a good association. So as soon as you're done with the eardrops, if your dog likes to play immediately after that, or give him food after that. So associate it with something. So dogs, because they learn with association, right? Like I told you about the doorbell, the same thing, that the dog has to start feeling that, oh, eardrops means I get my food, or eardrops means I get a game of fetch, which otherwise in the day the dog is not getting. The dog is getting it only after putting the eardrops. So that way the association will start becoming better slowly. But if it's
Right.
hurting, it's going to be a tricky situation.
Right. She's saying that she has to take him to the vet for giving him the medicine every day. That's pretty inconvenient. Like, can you assure
Ah,
that she can do that on her own? Like, if by following what you were telling her about the solution. Can
Yeah,
she
and
do?
if you could please, yeah, do this and please send a video of how bad it is. Like, what is he doing by not letting? Is he coming to bite or is he just trying to run away? Or what is it? Fibu, Fiba, come here.
Shivani, if you can answer that, then maybe.
Yeah, so because we will have to see what it is, right? Like, if is she getting so freaked out, and also see your handling at that time has to be very, very gentle. So if I start doing this, like right now, the way I grabbed it, obviously any dog will be uncomfortable. But what I would do is I would probably just be doing this. But don't do thard, like don't do this rough handling with them. Because then obviously they're going to get freaked out. So first just figure out ki what kind of it, like all of these things have to be very gentle. Don't try to pull the ear and then start doing all this. So obviously the dog will be like, oh God, what are you doing? And already if
Yeah.
he's in pain, it's going to be very annoying if the ear is hurting.
Right, right, right. All right, let's move on to a couple of more questions. Okay, she answered saying that he tries to run away and has to be leashed and muzzled. So basically, he tries to run away whenever they're putting the earmuffs.
Okay. So also another thing, now that you know your dog is going to run away every single time, first initially put on the leash before you even get the eardrops out. But also now don't associate the leash only with the eardrops. Yeah, start doing different things with the leash, right? Like we said in the beginning of this session when I was doing the demonstration for the leash handling, the leash can be used for multiple reasons, right? For guiding. So generally maybe put on the leash, take him to the food bowl, give him his food, put on the leash, or maybe start playing a game of fetch. And now you're going to also put on the leash and start putting the eardrops. So don't associate the leash putting only with the eardrops as well. Otherwise, you're going to have a new problem now that your dog is going to run away at the sight of the leash, which is happening right now at the sight of the uh, eardrops.
Yeah, yeah, true. Right, right. All right. Okay, Shikha here asks, my German Shepherd, 2-year-old, is quite friendly with dogs, but aggressive with our neighbor's dog because he is aggressive with him. He barks whenever the dog passes by. How to stop him from getting hyper?
Okay. If he's friendly otherwise and he's just not okay with your neighbor's dog, I would say just manage the situation. So just walk fast without really doing anything over there. Don't wait and try to fix the situation because you really can't do anything. And again, they don't necessarily have to be friendly with every other dog. Yeah, dog to dog play again, it's really a choice. If your dog likes to play with some dogs, if your dog doesn't like to play, which is okay, as long as he's not getting aggressive. So if you're saying that on his own he's not triggering or doing anything, which is okay. Yeah, if he's only getting triggered when he's trying to get aggressive, all I would say is just try to walk away. For now, just try to walk away. Like just try to manage the situation in a way that he doesn't have to deal with that stress at all. See, aggression again is a sign of a dog trying to deal with some kind of stress. So try to just walk away as much as you can, and with the same leash pressure. If you saw what I was doing with Captain, I was just guiding him, and then I would take him away. So don't try to
Right.
wait there and try to handle that situation.
And same leash pressure means that not don't even need to like put in a lot of pressure to show them that okay, we are stressed out of the situation and like pulling him too hard or something out of there. Just like
I
normally.
would say, huh? Yeah, yeah. If he's not the one starting it. So
Right.
versus if you have a dog who's coming out of the door and straight going to attack the dog, obviously you have to handle that first separately, right? So when I say that dog to dog play is not necessary, but dog to dog aggression is not right. So if your dog is stepping out and is trying to attack the other dog, then that's not okay. So that you have to obviously handle, right? But at the same time, if he's ready to ignore and walk away, only the other dog is triggering him, then let's ignore it and walk away. Let's not do anything about it.
So basically, the other dog's parent should be training him instead.
Yes,
And he's the one
absolutely. Yeah.
right. Okay. I hope that helps, Shikha. Julie here is asking, hi, I just adopted a 2-year-old shepherd. She's lovely and a bit too protective. I am a nomad, and whenever people are passing by the van, she growls, barks, and snaps at them. What should I do?
Oh my God. Okay. So that is quite a bit. And a 2-year-old means it probably could be something that the dog has learned over a long time. What you're going to have to do, Shikha, is you're going to have to again change her perception. Like a lot of times, all of these things are about what the dog is seeing, perceiving the situation. So for you, probably it would be that, Are, those people are just walking past, they're not even looking at her. But for some reason, maybe in the dog's head, she's getting freaked out. So So you're going to have to work, but work alongside some professional trainer over there. Let them see how bad it is, because if it's only getting worse, we need to control it as soon as we can. And it's a 2-year-old shepherd, I think. Now, this is what you said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I would say get a trainer on board, because we'll have to change the dog's perception of the situation. Obviously, with training, maybe you'll have to counter condition, maybe you'll have to teach her that the sight of the person is not wrong. But if she's out and out charging, we'll have to probably use different techniques. So get someone to see the dog first.
She says that she's a nomad, and I think to live out of the van itself. Is it possible that because the environment around the dog is changing a lot frequently, that's why also she's behaving this way, or is there something that she can do, on herself to like improve this behavior?
Yeah, so what you can teach is, of course, again, inward focus. So get your dog to focus on you a lot more.
Okay.
So teach him a look command, or teach him all of those things. So when you spot the person, so it's not like you're going to keep seeing these people outside, right? But
Right.
maybe if you're walking in a place where, like what I was showing you with Captain, that for a short period, put him in the heel command. So teach your dog those kind of commands, teach your dog that kind of obedience. So maybe when you know when the person is just there, what do you mean? When you know that the person is right there, that time put your dog in the look command or the heel command, and then you can continue a normal walk after that. So of course you can teach focus. That would really help.
Right.
Listen,
Okay. Garib,
what do you think of
Gar-
yourself? Oh, I'm sorry.
nice. Phoebe is like, completely enjoying the view and her position right now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The
Yeah.
last three, four questions, and then we'll wrap up the session. Okay, let's just take the last three
Yeah.
questions. We're already like 1 hour's already up. Let's just take the last three questions, and
Okay,
then
sure.
we'll wrap up the session. Garivita says, my 2 months old Pom gets scared from outsiders and do toilet inside the house in spite of roaming outside for hours.
This is a 2-month-old dog.
Pom, yeah, it's a Pomeranian.
Okay. See, if your puppy is just 2 months old, of course, there's a lot to teach still. So it's only normal that they're doing susupati in the house. You will have to
Mhm.
keep taking your dog out. You will have to keep doing it a little longer, of course. 2 months old is too small a puppy. So gradually she's going to learn, but stick to a good routine. So when I mean a good routine is, again, you don't need to walk for a long duration. So that doesn't mean that you'll walk your dog for 1 hour because she's not doing susu. What you do is take a small patch and just keep doing up and down. So for example, if I have like, if for example Phoebe is not doing susu, Phoebe, come here, good girl, super puppy. You are not swimming right now. Come here. Yeah. So for example, if your dog is not doing susu, just do this much. Just take a small patch from maybe A to B, and you're just going to keep walking up and down in that much time. Chala, good girl. Yeah, so just keep doing this much up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. What happens with this behavior is at one point of time, this kind of walking will get boring and the dog will decide to do susu potty. If you're taking a longer route, like if for that same, like if what I'm going to achieve in 10 minutes of this is going to be that this small patch will become boring for the dog will then think of probably doing susu potty. But if I keep taking her for a longer walk in that half an hour, everything else is very interesting. And if your puppy for that matter is a very curious puppy, and if at all she likes to explore a lot more, she's going to forget to do susu. So what you need to do is make the walk a little boring, a little monotonous after a point of time, and she'll start doing. So every 2 hours, get her down to the same spot and keep walking up and down. Also check the surface. So if you're saying she's only peeing at home or something, is it a particular surface that she's preferring? So then we'll have to even think about that. So there are multiple things we'll have to think about for toilet training, but the most important being a good routine, creating and good routine. Like you can see right now also, like he's in the crate. Now I'm with the other dog, but he's okay because for him, this is just normal that he has to go in and chill there.
Yeah, that is so. All right. We have another question. Pets Paradise. He says, my husky female is 3 months old. I didn't tie her with leash all the time. And when someone came to my home, she just jumps over them and runs out of the gate. What should I do? Please let me know.
Okay. Okay. So for jumping at the people, like I think I said for another case also in the beginning, teach some obedience over there. The sight of the person has to mean sit. And then as soon as the dog sits, the person is going to touch the dog. So one, do a little bit of obedience over there. For running out of the door, obviously, again, you need a very good recall. Also, find out what is it outside that is so much more interesting for your dog, because there could be something which is very exciting. So also, then you have to become way more exciting than that. So spend a lot of time in bonding with your dog first, because again, this one also is a puppy. Show them that you're fun. The reason your dog is going out and doing something else is because something else is way more interesting than what you are. So you start becoming a little bit more interesting. So a lot of importance I would give in puppy training is play with your dog. Generally play around with food also. Like if you saw what I was doing with the food training right now, that is something you do with the basic meals. You don't have to use separate treats for that. The basic meal, you work with that. Look at every meal as an opportunity to train with your dog. So as long as even you have a puppy, I'm sure the puppy will be all very excited when it's meal time. So use your meal times to keep the door of your house open, and do a little bit of just come here, then give maybe a fistful of his food. Then again, keep the dog might probably go there, just say, okay, no, no, come here. The minute the dog is in front of you, give another fistful of food. So use the mealtime as an opportunity to work with all these situations.
All
Yeah.
right, great. Let's take just the last two questions. They're very interesting. That's why I saved it for the last
Okay.
part of the session.
Okay.
One is Radhika is asking how to deal with resource guarding. Can you explain what resource guarding, what it means? Because it could be a new term. It sure as hell was a new term for me. I just saw what it actually means.
Okay.
Can you tell us what resource guarding is and how can we deal with it when it comes to our puppies or dogs?
Right, right. So resource guarding is basically the dog trying to clearly guard any particular resource. So
Right.
resource can again mean anything what the dog is feeling that is that important. It could be his food, it could be his toy, it could be the place where he's sitting, it could be like anything that he's picked up and the dog is feeling the need to guard it. What you can do in this situation is, again, there are multiple approaches depending on what is really happening. But the main thing is you have to again work with the mindset of the dog more than working with just that behavior that you're seeing, that okay, he's sitting there and he's growling. Instead of
Yeah,
that, try to think about changing what he's thinking, that why does he want to possess that object so much. So again, depending on how old your dog is and all of those situations and what the genetics are, because a lot of these things also have to do with genetics, we'll have to address it accordingly. But a few things what we would do in this situation is teach alternative behavior. So when your dog is sitting there and guarding, you rather teach him like a back command or something. So you can teach him a back off or back command. The minute the dog comes back, you can probably reward him there, and you're out of that situation. He's no more into guarding. So teach an alternative behavior. That's the best approach, because instead of you going and sorry, you going and handling him there, this would be the best approach. I would
okay.
think that is the best approach. Obviously, your second approach is you could correct the behavior.
Mhm.
But for that, I would say get a professional trainer to come and see you and your dog. And then they will tell you how to correct or how to address the situation.
All right. Okay. Last question for the day. We've already, Izan, we've already taken this session at a length with Priyanka in the past. You can definitely check this out in our videos. But let's just take this one question here. He is saying, Izan is saying, can you also teach us how to stop anxiety in dogs? And although like we've taken this up in the session before, can you show us some like a physical demo of what to do, how to be around your dog, and how to like sort of comfort them, calm them down in case they are feeling particularly anxious at a particular moment, or like what is it that we can do to comfort them, calm them down, and stop the anxiety in the dogs.
Okay. So one is like if, for example, it's a particular situation where your dog is anxious and he's choosing to stick to you, you can just be there. Just be there. You don't have to react. You don't have to say, oh, poor baby or anything. Like you can probably just do what I'm doing with her. So that
Hmm.
sometimes I keep touching her, sometimes I don't touch her. So even this, okay, like she's like one full beggar for love. So she'll keep doing this if I stop touching her. So, but it's completely up to me. Now, this is obviously not anxiety. This is just generally she's doing this. But even in times of anxiety, you can probably just be there. Yeah, you have to just be there. You don't have to do anything more. You don't have to even yell, scream, or you don't have to be, oh, poor baby. Just be there. You can gently touch. Also, another very interesting thing what you can do in terms of anxiety is a lot of circular movement. If you see what I'm doing right now with my fingers this way, I'll just come a little closer. Come here, Baba. Bas, khali bas. Khali basha. Good girl. Khali basha. Good girl. So you can probably, what you can do is a lot of circular movements. So this with your fingers, also with your entire palm. So do a lot of circular movements, be a little calm, be a little gentle. So these things generally calm them down. Instead of just doing this kind of touching, do a lot of circular movement touching. So whether it's just with your fingers or with it's with your full palm, you can do that. Even the tip of the ears, you can keep doing these kind of things. So these are small things that we used to do even in a veterinary clinic when I used to work with other doctors, because a lot of dogs who come onto the table are quite freaked out. So then I used to generally be standing there and you just keep doing these kind of things and they do calm down. Yeah, so that is one when your dog is absolutely anxious there. But if your question was anywhere to do with sorte, good girl. Good call. But if your question was anything to do with separation anxiety or any of those things, again, the solution is the same. Like, like creating and all of this. So if you see, like, he is my primary dog, the pit bull. So,
Right.
Tibu. Sorte. But again, right now I am sitting out with my second dog and he's okay because he knows that acha, theek hai, even if he's inside, he's still equally loved or may probably loved more. Sorry, Phoebe, but yeah, that is the fact. Yeah,
Wow.
but
Okay.
he doesn't have to, but he doesn't have to fight for it because he knows that
Right.
it's there. But at the same time, right from the time he was a puppy, I have taught him this separation. That this
Right.
is also your happy place. Although your happy place is next to me, but your happy place is also in your crate. Yeah, so because
Right.
of that, he's comfortable over there. He's comfortable to be on his own. That he knows that okay, I'll come out and he'll have a good time. Fibu, enough now. So he does know that. Okay.
Okay.
So
Super.
one for separation anxiety, start with crate training. That is something that you really need. That your dogs have to be peaceful. Like he's absolutely chill sitting inside. She's the naughty one who will do even nonsense even while she's outside because she's much younger. Yeah, so because of that, she's still all over the place, and which is okay. So even this, okay, now a lot of times with people, they will think that, array, now she's biting the leash, it's a problem, but it's not a problem. So if you see, I'll probably just say my informal leave command to her, but I know she wants to play. So if, for
Right.
example, just throw the ball, na please, or throw the tug, ये pink tug, throw करो. Just throw it. Push it. Now what to do? Now what to do? Oh, sure. Yes. So now she obviously, if she does want to play, I give her the right option to play. So she can now play with this toy. She knows this is a toy and she can play with that. Yeah. So I will probably engage her into that. So instead of shouting at her for playing with the leash, what I did is one, I used my informal command for the lead, and then obviously I started playing with the kind of toy that she should play with. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Oh,
Good girl.
awesome, Priyanka. It was an amazing session. The demonstration was really good, and I'm really like everybody who joined in enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Captain and Phoebe, for joining us and showcasing a brilliant demonstration covering the various aspects of dog training. For people who joined in late, in the first 30-35 minutes of the session, we covered crate training, we covered basic obedience and handling, and leash training that you can try at home. This video is going to be available in the pet keeping section or the video section of our Facebook page and YouTube channel, so you can definitely check it out once we are done with the live video. And thank you for everybody for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much, Priyanka.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope I've been able to help you guys with at least a little bit, a few aspects of dog training, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you, Pet Fed. Thank you, Soumya. It's
Thanks,
always
Priyanka.
lovely to be a
Bye.
part of the sessions.
Yeah, that's
Great.
great. We love having you too. You are just brilliant with everything. And thank you, and bye, Captain, and bye.
Bye, say bye, both of you. Oh, wait. Okay, chal. See